Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to our latest session of The Art of What's Possible. So today is all about video, and we've quite a bit to share with you, and I think some exciting things to share. So fix the blind spot in your Eloqua campaigns, capturing and acting on video behavioral data. Now, if you're a Marketo client and you're also with us today, most of what we talk about today will also be applicable for you. So we can expand on that a little bit as we move through the day. But thank you for joining us. So let's quickly have a look at the agenda so we can get started. We'll do some welcome and introductions. We're joined today by our partner and friends Eloqua. So we'll introduce you to Dion shortly. But the key thing that we want to focus on today is three core principles around video and how we can help with this through tracking, triggering, and scoring the video behavioral data that we're able to capture. And we'll expand on that. And that is a product called VidSync, and we'll show and explain to you what VidSync is all about. Now, Q&A, for those who attend our sessions on a regular basis, you know that Q&A, we welcome it throughout. So please use the Q&A, use the chat, whichever you think is easiest, and we're very happy to take those questions as we progress through. I'd like to introduce you to Dion Jones. Dion is Vice President of Consulting and is the Oracle and Adobe Partner Lead at Eloqua, which is a US-based firm, but Dion's actually based in Stuttgart in Germany. So good morning to you, Dion. And Adrian, our CEO and founder, welcome also. Adrian will be walking through a few points with us today. And of course, my name is Derek. Grateful to be here, and thanks so much for joining us. So Dion, what is this blind spot that we keep referring to in all of our comms to people?
Yeah, perfect. So this blind spot basically was discovered or realized by myself. I'm a former Eloqua user. I've used Eloqua for many, many years, back clear into 2007 in the early days, before Oracle acquired the company. And over the years of working from medium-sized to even enterprise companies with the Eloqua system, I noticed one thing that was consistent. When we set up lead scoring, we set up the ability to look at people who were going to different web pages, we noticed that there was a blind spot, which is whenever we wanted to track a landing page that had a video on it, we could only track the click, or we could only score a click. It was quite frustrating because we get excited in our reporting and we say, hey, how many people visited this video page? And we say, oh, 25 people clicked through. Like, oh, that's great. They probably watched the video. We hope they watched the video. Why would they not watch the video if they click through, right? So we always wondered how many people have watched the video and how far did they get into it and where did they drop off at? And if we had that information, we can do better scoring, we can alert sales better. So that was the blind spot that we noticed from the existing or the pre-existing Eloqua capabilities at that time. With this, what has happened is that when you know someone clicks an email, as I mentioned, you don't know if they actually watched the video and if they engaged with it and how long they've engaged with it. And one thing this is leading to is missed opportunities. So for everyone on the call, unless you have one of the more advanced video systems out there that cost tens of thousands of dollars a year and more, you really don't know how far someone's watched your basic videos that might be hosted on a landing page that's in your CMS or a landing page that's in the Eloqua system. So that really causes these problems or opportunities to be missed, which is you can't score them, not at least on how far they've engaged. You can't alert your sales team, hey, this particular hot prospect or target account of ours has watched a lot of our videos recently over the last several months. You know, when you talk to them, you can see what videos they've watched. It'd be great to know that, and then you can engage with them more accurately about their concerns. And then also segmentation. So when someone watches a video or does not watch a video, you have no ability to actually segment against that because that data is not coming through. So you're missing a lot of key opportunities. How do we resolve this issue? We thought about what we can do with the current technology that's out there and the capabilities of Eloqua and the various video platforms, and it's now possible to really integrate them deeply in a way that you can get that data according to the Eloqua tracking scripts that are running on your website. So VidSync is what that's called, the solution that allows this to happen. And we'll talk about more of this and what the capabilities are here in a minute. So what we want to do is present to you a three-step plan. First, there's tracking. Next step is trigger and score. Let me go on a high level about tracking. So with tracking, you have existing videos that are already in your inventory, that are already deployed on your website or on Eloqua pages, or maybe you're considering to do that. You want to first start tracking those videos, meaning put in this additional code that VidSync works right within inside of Eloqua, you can now enhance that code that you already have with the code that VidSync is providing you that allows the video player and Eloqua to talk to each other through VidSync. And that's going to allow you to get that data stored into Eloqua so you can start seeing what's really going on with your existing videos. And you'd be surprised. With the clients that have been using this, we've noticed some key interesting insights from that. Then what that's going to allow you to do next is, okay, what do I want to do about that? What do I want to trigger as a result of this data that I'm getting? Do I want to send a follow-up campaign? Do I want to do nothing at all? Do I want to alert sales? Do I want to nurture them differently and put them on a different path? And then the final step is scoring. So we have a lot of tracking. We have data coming in. We have triggers possibly going, being triggered by that data. Now let's score those people who are watching more video than other people. And now we can see who is truly engaged with our content and most likely closer to ready to have a conversation. So step in tracking. As you know, right now, you're currently tracking, if you have a video platform, this is from just a high level YouTube channel, and you can see, wow, we have 100,000 views. We have this many people coming in. Here's our trend of our video views. But that doesn't really tell you who actually is attributing to that aggregated metric. And that's where we want to get beyond that anonymous view counts that you're currently doing. What we track is percentage of video watched, replays, re-engagement patterns, drop-off points that indicate content issues. So if you see your videos are being watched, but man, nobody makes it past 20% of the video and all these videos that we deploy, that can give you some ideas on maybe we need to change what we're saying, when we say it, and to give your content creation team more direction on what needs to be created. Also, there's a total engagement time with your content is tracked. Where does this data appear in Eloqua? So there's 3 different areas you can look for it. In the basic version of this integration, we just store data in 2 contact fields: VidSync most recent video name, VidSync most recent video time. So that's a basic integration. Then you have custom objects where the more enhanced and advanced data is stored. There's 2 custom objects that are created. One is called VidSync video, and the other one is VidSync data enrichment. And data enrichment is an advanced solution that allows you to gate a video. Maybe they watch it 10 seconds, 20 seconds, or maybe up front you want to get some more information from them, like an email address, or if they're a known visitor, you might want to get additional information from that known visitor to enhance their profile. So you can do some data enrichment if you like before they watch the video. Then here's some of the here's some of the video details that we track, and we broke them into 3 categories. Video details, basically the embed URL, the URL that's actually playing the video platform that was used, let's say it's YouTube or Vimeo, a group name, and group name, you can categorize your videos. Is this a sales video, a marketing video, or a support video, or whatever category you want, top of funnel, middle of funnel, bottom of funnel. And the video ID, device type, or device OS, the view date, view video total seconds, and video seconds viewed. And if it was a rewatch, which is a powerful indicator, if they come back to this video again, maybe this person is really interested in the content. And then there's also an advanced engagement data points we collect. Cumulative video all time, meaning over the time of 2 or 3 months, how much video minutes have they been watching? So you can say, hey, this particular person watched this one video, but I look over in this column in the CDO, I see 23 minutes. So that tells you that over time, I've been watching 23 minutes, in addition to the row of data you're looking at in that CDO, for example. First view date, last view date, and view count. So those are the data fields. Example, there are additional ones there that we use that are captured in the CDO.
The group name, Dion, that one's really interesting. So we've been using VidSync now for a little while, and what we're looking at is with those different group names, the user group is a big group for us, so we categorize those. Then we have a couple of other categories, and so now we're thinking about what does that look like potentially on an insight dashboard. So now we can start to look at dashboards that are not just talking, well, first of all, yay, we can talk about video and what's actually being watched, but we can actually be granular about it as well. And so it's not just the user group. It could be promotional videos. It could be educational videos. There's a whole swag of ways to do it. So that level of granularity is fantastic that we can then pull through from a dashboard point of view and insight.
Exactly. How do we use this data as a trigger?
Thanks, Dion. So basically, yeah, there's lots of different types of video that we can use across the buyer journey. And before we can really start to look at triggering, I think we have to kind of consider what the type of content is that we're using. So looking at video for awareness, we'd be talking about brand anthem videos or short form, kind of socials, maybe high level explainers. You'll often see videos around product launches or events, or little teaser videos about something that's coming up. And as we move to consideration, we're going to get more educational in the kind of content that we're putting together. We might be sharing industry trends and insights, webinar replays or clips, a good example of where we might try to influence somebody in that consideration phase. When we move to purchase, someone's down to their best few. They're trying to decide between a kind of, the last few options. We're going to get more detailed, look at product reviews, maybe comparisons. They might be keen to see what setup looks like or what feature reviews there are, or they might have frequently asked question videos. So we're trying to help people to make a decision. Going through to retention, obviously there's welcome phase, but there's onboarding. So getting people up to speed really quickly, maybe some more detailed how-tos, tutorials. You kind of get the idea. And then advocacy, maybe more tutorials, advanced features, sharing success stories. So, there's lots of different types of video that we're using across the buyer journey. So this granular detail that we're able to get into different types of videos is going to influence how we orchestrate our communications, how we build our journeys. So jumping over to the next stage of this, setting the scene, is how do we build out we're going to sort of zoom in on kind of onboarding and just look at post-purchase. And why is onboarding important? Well, we want to capitalize on kind of the honeymoon phase of peak engagement. So there's lots of excitement and novelty. The buyer's often looking for sort of post-purchase justification. And they've often bought something because there's an immediate need. So they want to get up to speed fast. And onboarding is a really critical component of that. So let's go one more layer again and just look at some personas, because we can't really look at content without really considering some personas. And so I've picked up some automotive personas and a little help from Gemini, come up with some images of what they might look like. But let's say we've got, kind of flashy Fiona who likes her fast cars, and she's watching this kind of onboarding journey to try and understand kind of what it's going to mean for her. And then we've got family first Fred, who kind of wants a spacious kind of a car. So he's looking for safety and those sorts of things. And then we've got, I don't know, luxurious Carol, who likes comfort and big sedans. And so that's what she's looking for in her car. And then we've got, I don't know, Gadget Greg, who's looking for all the gadgets in the car and is kind of tech savvy, wants to be connected. And then we've got our budget guy, I don't know, Budget Paul, and he wants to make sure that he's got the right kind of car. So we've got some personas. We've got some understanding of the kind of videos they're watching. So, Derek, how do we put this all together and trigger something meaningful?
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's jump in and have a look. What we've not had access to previously is clarity and understanding, I suppose, what these people are doing. And so the nice thing about VidSync is that it now gives us not just simply that, yay, they clicked and got to a landing page, but they've actually engaged with the video content. And so there are a range of ways that we can do that. And so what we've done here is we've mocked up a campaign canvas example that might be for an onboarding program for new clients. The segment at the top there is just simply constantly looking. Maybe it's once a day, could be more, bringing people into the campaign, and out goes the first video. The first email, but in that email is a link to a video. And it's a welcome video. It might be from the CEO, could be from somebody in the organization, whoever it might be, inviting them to, or welcoming them, and then inviting them potentially to do specific things in the context of the onboarding campaign. The nice thing now is that because we've got access to some specific data using the custom object from VidSync, is we now have a much better idea as to, did they actually watch the video? Did they get to the critical point in the video where there was a specific call to action? So there are a few ways we can do that. So this is the shed filter. I've just sort of zoomed over here. And what we've got is two levels of filters that we're applying within the shed filter. So the first one here is identifying the specific video. So we use the video ID, all that information sitting there in the custom object. You can see it. There's also the name of the video, which makes it a lot easier. Obviously, the ID doesn't mean a great deal to you, but you've got that right there in front of you. So that's the first thing. Let's be specific. We've got the video in question. The next thing we want to do is look at the critical view stage. And that's what this is. And you'll see the critical view stage happens in three areas. It's started, watched half, and completed. Now, in addition to this, there is another field also in the CDO, which is a percentage reference. So this granularity may not be granular enough for what you need. So you do have the percentage option as well. But for many things you do, it may be just as easy to use these values that you can see here. Now I'm in a much better position to understand what the person's done. And so in this example, I've asked for people who have not completed the video. And so if I actually go back, then you'll be able to see that I can reroute people based on that information. So now I'm beginning to change the experience on the campaign canvas based on what a person has or has not done in the context of a particular video. I mean, that's got to be pretty exciting stuff. I mean, this is stuff that we've really just not been able to do previously, unless we're spending, as you said earlier, on tens of thousands of dollars with pretty significant platforms. So this is a much nicer way to go about. Adrian.
Definitely. And we promised you a couple of different scenarios. So I just want to have a look at another use case. And this is pretty popular amongst our customers, especially in professional services and financial services. But even outside of that, hopefully you'll get some kind of some ideas around what you could do with a video and this type of data in these sorts of scenarios. So one of them is this kind of idea of continuing professional development, and lots of organizations, financial services and professional organizations do this type of training. And what's critical is really, well, there's a couple of elements. One is they're doing a lot of it, so they want to automate it as much as possible. And the other is they want to be able to kind of allocate these points and encourage people to attend and to stay, compliant and up to date with their training. So, and there are lots of opportunities to do that. So obviously in the event and training space, just the promotion and registration of events, we can do a lot in the automation space with that. But we can also start to look at the attendance tracking and then point allocation. We can look at things like certificates and issuing those and providing summaries so that people can see the kind of points that they've earned during a course of time. And then the sort of post-event engagement. So similarly to what we're looking at the onboarding, is we can take this information and just be smarter about the kinds of communications that we're sending out. So obviously the benefits are we can increase the efficiency, we can run more events more easily, we can be more accurate. It's overall a much better experience. So anytime we start to introduce some personalization, we're really helping our customers do what they want to do. We're kind of enhancing that overall customer experience. And ultimately, there's better compliance. And we're starting to use some data-driven insights. We can actually look at what's working, what's not working, and make some changes as a result. But going on from here, we can actually go on and enhance this further. So by increasing the amount of detail that we have, we can go further, and particularly in these kind of three key areas. So that event promotion and registration, we can start to really optimize our content creation because we know what people are engaging with. We know what promotional videos they're watching, how much of them they're watching, and we can change them out. So if they're not right, we can make those changes. So we're thinking about things like A/B testing. We're thinking about things like changing the content on a regular basis. So that set and forget isn't really set and forget. It's set and optimize. And we're thinking about targeted promotions that we want to go specifically to people that we know haven't done something. They haven't watched this video. They haven't done this training. Let's get to them again. Let's try and reach that audience that we're not able to get to. They might have only watched part of a lot of the videos. Let's get them over the line and help them. We can look at attendance tracking and point allocation so we can be much more accurate. Maybe rather than we think somebody might have clicked on a video and might have watched it, we know if they've done 70% of the training, 80% of the training, 99% of the training, and maybe we allocate the points and the certificates based on over 95 is okay. You're going to get the point. And we can also look at progress tracking towards their compliance and say, you've got X number of points left this year, or, we can help you get whatever the extra points that you need. And then obviously that post-event engagement, we're able to personalize reminders and follow-ups accordingly. So they might have just, they might have a certain time frame to get some stuff done by, or we might want to get a particular audience over the line. And so we can tailor those post-event comms to a much higher degree. So, Derek, over to you again. How might this look kind of in the real world?
Yeah, sure. All right. So fundamentally, when we access shared filters, as many we know as Eloqua users, that the interface that we use to create a shared filter is essentially the same as it is for segments. And so here, what we're looking at now is looking for triggers. So you might have specific video content that is designed as a hook. It could be maybe it just goes for 30, 45, or even 60 seconds. That's it. And it's either people get there from different campaigns you're running, maybe it's hosted on the Eloqua landing page, or maybe it's sitting on your CMS, whichever it might be. But there are those really cool functions that we've got with the ability to gate this content. So we can use Eloqua forms, obviously, which is what you would experience for those who attend the user group. You go through a form to get to the replay. The VidSync function actually has a little pop-up that if the person is unknown based on cookies, then we can present them with a really simple form. It might just be first name, last name, and email address. That might be it. You can add more if you want, but that might be it. And so when you get people watching, that act in and of itself could be the trigger. So it could be a net new individual. And so we can use segments, as you can see here on this screen. We can use segments to listen for that information, and then that's the entry point to get them into a campaign to engage. Now, of course, that's just one thing we can do with them. We can push information directly through to the CRM, for example, to let the CRM and sales team know that a particular video has been watched. And you can see here the video percentage that I talked about earlier is equal to at least, say, 75%, for example. Whatever works for you in relation to your content. And in discussions with Dion a couple of weeks ago, we talked about that notion of you might have a video that only goes for 30 or 60 seconds, but the actual call to action is at 45 seconds. So we want to be really clear and understand where that is. And if people get that far, then what do we do? What's the result? How do we want to manage that particular situation? So your segment is where that triggering really happens, Adrian. That's where we're able to do the listening. And then from there, we can go into programs, we can go into campaigns. There's a whole range of things we can do from there. All right, back to you, Dion, I think.
Thank you. That was good overview, guys. I think everyone probably is getting a little excited. I know I was, because I lived through this pain of not being able to do all these things. But let's talk about scoring and CRM now. In Eloqua, we know that we can do various types of lead scoring. So currently in Eloqua, your lead scoring relies on mostly 4 key factors: email opens, right? Links that are clicked, website visits, form submissions, and also, you have HVA, high valued assets or high value content that you might have put that group together, and you're scoring them if they go to your key assets. What we want to do, obviously, with video is add that into the scoring, because video, as we know, is the highest form of content that is being consumed right now. More people are using it than ever, and it definitely just makes sense to be able to track how deeply engaged they are with it. So we want to put that into the scoring program. So we can enhance with video data. So here's some ideas. If you go into Eloqua and you get to the engagement section of the scoring UI or user interface, you can basically set up some scoring that will allow you to determine if this person, because of VidSync, completed the video. You can score off of that if they completed. You can score also off of repeat views. And then you can score off of section-based scoring. And section-based scoring really requires you to simply understand at what point of the video that a particular thing is happening that you think is important. So you say, I know in this 3-minute video, we talk about something really critical at the 2-minute point. And then that's, whatever, 66% away through the video. Then that allows you to really start setting up some cool filters that can score them according to that. So let's look at just a high-level example of this that we put together. In the scoring algorithm, we're asking if they've rewatched this particular video with an indicator of yes or no. And then video percentage, as I mentioned earlier, if they made it to 75%, or if they watched at least half. These types of criteria can be used so you can score them higher. It's very powerful. So what's the business impact of all of this? You think about it, video is obviously a positive impactor on pretty much everything you're doing. 37% increase in MQLs to SQL conversions, 86% higher conversion rates, 200 to 300% click-through rates increase, which is critical. Let me talk about that for a second. Although we don't have a demo of it on this particular webinar, the VidSync solution can allow you to place a thumbnail in your Eloqua emails that will automatically go when clicked to the landing page that hosts the video for that thumbnail. And this is automatically created. So it's inside the email editor area of Eloqua. You can pick the existing landing pages you've already put videos on, right, that are hosted in Eloqua. And then it automatically knows, oh, that's the video. Here's the URL. You can now change your thumbnail if you want to a different color with the play button, insert it into the email, resize it. And then once you send that email out, they click, they automatically go to the landing page. So just having a thumbnail with a play button is very powerful to increase the click-through rates. That's what the 200, 300% on average is referring to. So video is one of the most measurable and persuasive formats, as we all know, available. They drive higher engagements, also stronger conversions and better decision making. And this is according to Forrester. And from our experience, it's what our clients are seeing also. Q&A and wrap up, I turn it back over to you, Derek.
Thanks, Dion. I think it's interesting to just point out to many of the people on the call today have probably used the video or Vimeo function on their Eloqua landing pages. But if, like me, you probably don't use it in email, because while when you drag that YouTube function into your Eloqua email, and great, you put the URL in, that's great. It brings through the thumbnail image, which is, again, is great, but you have no control over the actual URL behind it, right? So people click on it and they go straight to YouTube. Now, that may be okay. That may be what you want. Well, that's fine. But then the other thing that's missing that is super annoying is there's no play button. So there's really no visual cue for people to know that that thumbnail image is in fact a thumbnail image and does in fact go to a video. So that's why I think the VidSync solution is so much smarter, because it comes with a very obvious universal red play button with a play icon in it. So we all know what that means. So yeah, I think that's and the fact that it automatically goes straight to the Eloqua landing page is brilliant. Now you can override that, right? You can control it, but by default, that's where it's going to take you. All right.
Exactly.
Look, we did have a few questions that some people had submitted, and those who are on the call, we'd love to have your questions too. But please feel free to use the Q&A or give us a thumbs up or whichever. Dion, maybe I could start with you. So does it work on my CMS?
Great question. So yes, that short answer is yes. You have the option to insert it into an Eloqua page, insert the video code into an Eloqua page. You have the option of copying the code and pasting it into your CMS, your website editor. So it will render the video there.
Okay. All right. Where is the video hosted and what does it look like on a landing page or in an email?
Now, another good question. So the video is hosted in your existing video provider. So we're not changing any of those things. So we're leveraging what you already have and getting more value out of it. And what it looks like is the same way it does now for you. Only thing different is the code is now tracking what's happening between the known user, because we're piggybacking off of the Eloqua cookie that's already being set, and it's then tracking that known user's journey into that video and how far they're engaging in it. And for email, the video itself is not in the email, just the thumbnail. If you'd like to, that's an optional feature, by the way. If you like to use that thumbnail feature, it just shows the thumbnail and your text is around it or above it as normal, and clicks through, it goes to that landing page that's hosting the video. And then the video, yes, is coming from your video provider, whether it's YouTube or Vimeo.
Right. Now this next question is a good one, and I'm happy to answer this one actually, if you like. So what happens once the video finishes? YouTube takes us to the recommended video or our channel. Okay. Now, so yeah, this is an annoyance, right? So you use the YouTube or Vimeo. I personally have not used Vimeo a great deal. It's all pretty much YouTube for us. But yeah, there's always that problem. Get to the end of your video, and then all of a sudden there's cat videos, and for me it's always engineering and big construction videos, etc. Or worst case scenario, it's your competitor's video. That sucks, right? Yeah, so the nice thing with VidSync is that you can control that. So when people get to the end of your video, they'll only see videos from your channel. So they're not going to see your competitors. They're not going to see cat videos. They're not going to see big engineering videos, etc. That sort of stuff. So yeah, that's a real win. That's one thing that we love. And for people who've been watching our user group replay videos, they will have seen this and probably not even experience or realize what they're experiencing. But now they're in the know. All right, so there was a couple of other questions here. What data is stored by VidSync and where? Great question. Security, all that stuff.
Whereas in the geographical location or where technically?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
yeah. Is
Yeah.
it behind that Golden Gate Bridge right behind you, or where is
We definitely do not want it there. So that's an inside joke, and probably everyone understands why I said that. Who knows? But the data is stored inside the EU.
it? Hmm.
The data center for VidSync is there. Nothing is in the States, actually, especially for the potential EU customers of this product. They like to have the data obviously staying in the EU. So we figured when this solution was created to put it in that location, so Frankfurt to be specific, and Amazon Web Services data centers.
Hmm.
And then you said what data is stored. So VidSync is capturing the basic data, that data that is normally even in your reports in, let's say, YouTube, but it's connected to the customer, I'm sorry, the contact level, right? So we have that video view data, the things we talked about earlier, engagement data like minutes and percentage watch, things of that nature, all stored into that data center that's in the EU.
Right. Cool. Yeah, look, I think most Australians would be pretty comfortable. Adrian, would you agree that it's stored in the EU? I mean, their compliance, etc. People, GDPR, a lot more comfortable.
Yeah, sure. And I'm sure, Dion, you've got any kind of documentation around that or anything that people want, if it's required.
Yeah. All right, cool. Um, so what video formats does VidSync support? I suppose that's what so it's YouTube and Vimeo primarily. Yes, they're all MPEG-4, but that's not really what VidSync's doing, right? VidSync's accessing videos from Vimeo and YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah, so I can explain it in a less technical way. So if you think about it, what is happening is inside of Eloqua, you have a landing page, you open up the VidSync app integration with the cloud content plugin. We're not storing any videos actually at all. We're just indexing them. So we look at it and say, oh, here's the number of videos you have in this particular platform after you authorize us, right? Using OAuth as they call it in the technical
Yeah.
world. The authorization happens, and then we're just saying how many videos are there, and we're displaying it, and you can select it. This is the one I want to put in my page. So no data is coming in from the platform at that time other than the video being indexed. And the platforms supported currently is YouTube, Vimeo. We also have some other platforms, like even Brightcove and whatnot that are supported. But Brightcove offers, a kind of a basic version of this type of thing, percentage watch. That's about all they really capture. And it's, as I mentioned, the pricing point for that is usually large companies spending tens of thousands, and above to have that type of solution. So this is more for the Eloqua user that doesn't have such an advanced Brightcove integration. And I think that gets them where they want to go for sure.
Okay. And then a great question here. What is the pricing model and does it require implementation or configuration?
Yeah, another good question. Basically, the pricing model is broken up in three different tiers from a standard, a professional, and an enterprise level. And depending on what the customer needs, the pricing can start as low as 300 or 400 euros a month and up. Depends on what they're trying to do. And for its implementation, it's very simple actually. It can be installed within minutes once it's approved or whatnot by the company's IT or whatnot to be installed. And we really get involved in strategy and use cases with the customers more than implementation. That's a pretty quick part. It's just how do we get value from it? How fast we can get you the value is what we mostly focus on once it's installed.
Got it. All right. So maybe that's a good segue. So unlock your video data. What we're working on at the moment is some what we're calling Eloqua web classes, which are looking a little bit more specifically and directly at using technology like VidSync in concert with Eloqua. So we're looking at how to generate leads using VidSync, how to increase content profile enrichment with VidSync, because remember, quite a bit of that information that we capture can be turned into an external activity, which then means it's visible within the Eloqua profiler environment. And so that means the sales and service teams can also see certain information of tasks completed, videos watched in full, that sort of stuff. And so then that really flows into the next one. So how to really provide sales with contact video engagement insight. We're working on those at the moment, and we will get some information to those who have joined us live today. So thank you for doing that. But Adrian, do you want to explain that next point about an evaluation and what we're thinking there?
Yeah, sure. The idea was that we would enable a evaluation period so that you could try this out, see how well it works for you around some specific use cases. I think we're thinking about a period of about 45 days so you could try it. And I think the key thing really is to try and understand how this is going to deliver value for you and what would be a key success metric. So we'd work together with you, define a key success metric, and then together work with you to show that. And what we would really love is to build some success stories and some case studies. And if you could, if you'd like to participate in that, then please scan that QR code and drop us a note. And we'd love to get in touch and set that up with you.
Absolutely. Thank you for those questions that we received. We appreciate that. And otherwise, thank you so much for making some time to be with us today. We really appreciate it. And if you do have any questions, we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you, Dion, for making some time. It's early your time in Germany, so enjoy the rest of your summer day. We're very jealous down here in our part of the world, I can assure you. But thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thanks, Jack. Thanks, Dion.
Goodbye, guys.
Ciao. Bye-bye.